Hi guys, the International Battle Pass has finally been released and Manila Major predictions are open. And the Battle Pass event ends August 13th, which is about 78, 79 days from the release of this video, which is important for later. But if you are lazy and you don't want to watch this video, then I'll just post an imager album of all these so you don't have to listen to this video. But if you want like why I chose each of these or other possible selections for each of these predictions, then you can keep on watching. So first and foremost, you need to know how to predict this one. Final prize pool prediction locks in 10 days, 6 hours, 54 minutes. So this one is 10,000 points. I highly suggest that you actually wait a little bit until you make your predictions, until there's more information available, more games for more statistics, as well as just more statistics on how big the prize pool is going to be. There's actually a nifty website that shows the prize pool by hour, by day, and compares it to the other internationals. This one is Dota2.prizetracker/international 2016. So the compendium ends on August 13th, 2016, which is roughly 78 to 79 days from now, and right now is around day 9/10. So if we add 78 to 79, it's around day 88, I would say, plus or minus, however many days, plus or minus 1 day, I would say. And then it's around 17.6 million if we were to take a similar trajectory to 2015. However, the daily growth is actually slightly less than 2015, even though the initial growth was slightly greater. And we don't have stretch goals this time, and we don't know what the Immortal 2 and 3 treasure chests are going to look like and how sweet those Immortals are going to be. So if you think those are going to be mega awesome and everyone's going to want to buy more levels to get more chests, then you should probably predict like 18 to 20 million. About if you don't have that much faith in how good they're going to be and you don't think that Valve is going to incentivize players to purchase that many levels, then predict anywhere from 15 to 17 million, or even less than 15 million. So I think less than 15 million to probably 21 million is a good answer. I'm gonna say that the Immortals are gonna be awesome, and I'll say 18 to 19 million, just slightly higher than the trajectory for last year, since it seems like the initial growth was slightly larger. And Manila Major predictions, each of these are worth way less than the prize pool prediction, and you have slightly less time to do these. The one that is worth by far the most is the winner of the Manila Major. I think it's going to be Wings, and why is that? So I compiled rankings from 3 different websites: Knoxville's ELO list, Join Dota's database of rankings of teams, and Gozu Gamer's ranking of teams. And this was taken like before very recent results, which is Summit 5 qualifiers, which Wings did end up trumping Vici Reborn 3-1, and they did beat Newbie too. So Knoxville has Wings at the top. My 5 that I would say that you should choose from is Wings, Newbie, Vici Reborn, Liquid, and OG. Phoenix and Fnatic have not had the best performances as of late. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're kind of consistently around the top 10, just depending on which website you go through. Digital Chaos, for some reason, is number 5 on Join Dota, even though all they play is American teams. So I think probably Knoxville has the most holistic view and takes, data from a month ago and doesn't weigh them as much as more recent results, like I think these other 2 do. So again, Wings, Newbie, Vici Reborn, Liquid, and OG would be my 5. Overall, I'm just going to pick Wings. Teams with the most kills in a game. This one is highly dependent on how the team plays, as well as how many games you think they're going to play. If they play more games, they're more likely to get more kills in a game than a team that plays less games. So Newbie, I think, is actually going to do pretty well at the start, drop down to the lower bracket at some point, and play a lot of games. And with the way they play, they actually, I think, have slightly probably longer game length than other teams, as well as just having more kills on general. I would say like OG or Newbies, pretty good choices for this. A disclaimer right now is that Dota was actually down. I was waiting a little bit to make this video to hope that it would come back up, but unfortunately it hasn't come back up for me yet, and hopefully it will come back up in the next 7 days, and you can do research of your own. But as of right now, I'm going out of town, so I won't actually have time to wait for it to come back up, and I'll just have to use my knowledge and whatever stats I have available to me. I use a little bit of Dota buff to try and predict what's going to happen at the Manila Major. So team with the highest kill average probably should be the same as most kills in a game. They tend to go hand in hand. I'll just pick newbie again. Again, you can't go wrong with any of the big five or OG. Team with the fewest deaths in a game. Wings tends to stomp their opponents from time to time. They've recently had like a 17-minute GG out by the other team where the other team was limited to 4 kills. I don't know. They seem to just like stomp T1 teams pretty frequently, and they get stomped themselves too. But we're talking about teams that do stomp, not get stomped. So Wings will be my choice for this one. You should also think about a team that ends games pretty early. I think Wings and Liquid tend to end games earlier than the other teams, which is important for stats like this one and teams that wins the shortest game. Teams with the most assists in a game, I think OG or newbie, they tend to play longer games than the other teams of the big five, and they tend to 5-man a lot. Teams that wins the longest game, this was kind of one of the few ones that wasn't in the big five. Secret just has a lot of hour-long games, and my only concern for them is that they don't actually tend to win those super long games, at least from the small sample size that I have with the new Secret roster. But any team with Eternal Envy seems to just really go to distance. So I'll put them for longest game and highest game length average. Teams that wins the shortest game should be the same as this. I'll just put Wings. Teams that picks the most different heroes. This should be a team that you don't actually think is going to win the entire thing. It should be a team that is pretty good and will run through the lower bracket most likely. So that will be newbie for me. Teams that pick some fewest different heroes. Who will be your Archon of the Manila Major? Pretty much who you think is going to be the worst team. And Mineski wasn't even in the top 18 for some of the rankings that I looked at, whereas the other 15 teams were. So I'll pick Mineski for this one. Let's go to hero predictions. This one is going to be pretty difficult because we don't actually have that many games on 6.87D, which was released immediately after the last LAN. So the most picked hero I would say is in between 5 heroes: Doom, Lion, ES, Beast, and Phoenix. And all 5 of those heroes got nerfed in 6.87D, but you should probably pick a support or someone who can be a support. I guess all 5 of these heroes can. Phoenix, Beast can be jungle, ES is almost exclusively support, Lion is almost exclusively support, and Doom can be played in a few different positions. So it seems like actually Doom has the most flexibility, but at the same time I think he's going to be banned a lot, slightly behind Beastmaster. So I think Phoenix is the most likely to not be banned out the most, and he's going to be very popular. Even with the Sunray nerf, most banned heroes seem still to be Beastmaster even after the nerfs. I would say Bounty, Beast, or Doom for this, although some regions like tend to think that Bounty Hunter is not that strong. So I think Beastmaster is the one that's deemed strong by all 4 regions. Similar to Doom too. Doom is kind of in the same boat as Bounty Hunter in that some teams just don't like him that much. But Beastmaster, I think, is universally accepted as very, very good. Heroes with the highest win rate. This one is tough because you generally want a hero that's around 5 to 6 games, maybe like definitely less than 10, I would say, just so bad teams don't dilute his win rate. Heroes like Timber, Elder Titan, Terrorblade, Enigma, Lycan are going to be my picks for this one. I just picked Lycan just because OG and some other teams run him occasionally and tend to win pretty easily with them. Hero with the highest kill average. These are your like explosive, huge burst heroes that just demolish supports in one hit. TA, Invoker, Quap, Sven, Tiny are my 5. TA, Invoker, Quap, Sven, Tiny. I'm just going to pick TA because Miracle plays him, and I think Miracle will get a lot of kills. Hero with the highest assist average. This is almost always Zeus or Spectre. I don't actually know if Zeus is going to be picked 5 times. Spectre, I'm fairly confident will be picked at least 5 times, so I'm going to run with Spectre. Hero with the lowest death average. This is generally Morphling, Weaver, or Slark. It was Slark at Shanghai Major. I think Weaver seems to have a little bit more success and is picked a little bit less than Slark, so I'll go with Weaver. Here with the highest last hit average, I think these 3 were dominated by Sven at Shanghai. Should probably be like Sven, Alk, AM, Ember, these sort of heroes, but I think Alchemist will almost certainly be played at least 5 times. I think that Sven's actually probably slightly more likely here, but Who knows? Maybe I'll change it to Sven. Yeah, Sven sounds a little bit better. Sven or Alk. Highest with the hero with the highest GPM average. I think Alchemist is just generally the winner there. Hero with the most kills in the game. This should be very similar to your heroes with the highest kill average. I'm just going to say Invoker because I think he's going to be played a lot more than 5 games. And TA, she might have more kill average, but Invoker will probably be picked a lot more. I think Quap will actually be picked in similar amounts, maybe slightly less. So Invoker or Quap. Hero with the most last hits in the game. Alchemist, Sven, AM, Ember, Naga, any sort of heavy farmer. I think the Alchemist will probably be picked maybe the most out of these. Maybe Sven, but Alchemist or Sven, I would say for that one. We already went through the team, so now for the players. Heroes with the highest kill average. Miracle actually had I think 2 more kills on average than any other hero. Maybe not that much, maybe like 1.5 or 1 or something like that, but that's still a significant difference when most of the players are sitting around like 6 or 7 kill average per game. And most of the time, the discrepancy in between like first, second, and third is like a few percent, like 1 or 2% maybe. But Miracle, I think, was like at least 10% more than the second one, at least from what limited data I could get from my small sample size. Players with the most kills in the game, Miracle tends to get a lot of kills. He had a really explosive Timbersaw game recently, and OG's really good. So I think you can safely put Miracle for this one and feel pretty happy about that. Players with the lowest death average, there's a lot hovering around the 2.9 to 3 death per average mark. Matumba Man, How, Moo, these sort of players. I'll just put Liquid because I think Liquid are also really good. Players with the highest assist average and most assists should be pretty much the same. I think it's going to be Kaka. He was actually my pick for Shanghai Major, but Ehome bombed out. But now he's on a pretty decent team, and hopefully they won't bomb out. Player with the highest last hit average. Envy gets a lot of last hits. It's as simple as that. Although he does have Artur on his team now, who takes up a lot of farms, so maybe not as high last hit average as before, but still pretty darn high. And Secret have a pretty long average game length, so I will put Secret for this one and Envy for highest last hit average. But with the most last hits in the game, How had like an 800 last hit gyrocopter game recently, and newbie tend to give him a lot more farm than Moo, and they tend to play like 40 plus minute long games. So How for this one. Player with the most GPM in the game, I put Wings mid and Blink. He's actually not listed as Blink here, but this last guy I'm pretty sure is Blink, and he has had a couple of 1,000 plus GPM games because he plays the Alchemist, and they are really good at running Alchemist. So I would say that he's going to be my 1,000 plus highest GPM by hero in the game and player. Player with the highest GPM average, I'm going to put How. This one's a little difficult because generally he's just going to be your position 1, but a lot of times like the position 2 plays a super heavy farmer is actually the position 1. But How's pretty safe. Players that play the most different heroes, I think Miracle and OG will go pretty deep in the bracket, and he just plays a lot of different heroes. When I was looking at the hero list, a lot of players had like 7 games played on a certain hero in the past month. Miracle had like most 3 for a hero played in the last month, so they seem to give him a lot of different heroes. And he plays position 1 and position 2. He plays safe lane and mid lane, rather. Total number of games played. The format is very similar to the Shanghai Major, so I'll be citing the Shanghai and Frankfurt games pretty often in this. So total number of games played should be around 92 to 93. So definitely pick 88 to 92 or 93, 97. Shanghai was 91 and Frankfurt was 99, but there was a slightly different format, 8 more possible games. So if you take away those 8 games and average it out, it should probably be around 93 to 94 for Frankfurt. Total number of heroes picked. Frankfurt was 83, Shanghai was 88, and the hero picks are pretty comparable, I think, how Shanghai is. So 81 to 90, I would put like 70% chance and 30% chance of 91 to 100 if I had to choose just 2. Total number of heroes banned, 71 to 80 is my pick. However, both Frankfurt and Shanghai were 61 to 70. Frankfurt was 66 and Shanghai was 70. So I would probably say about 50-50 toss up in between 61 to 70 and 71 to 80. Most combined total kills in a game, I would say definitely in the 70 plus range. Maybe like 40% here, 40% here, and 20% in this one, depending on how long the game goes. It's very high variance, I would say. Shanghai Major was 76, so I'll just choose 71 to 80 range. Longest game of the tournament was also 76 minutes. I would say you should choose 61 to 70 or 60 to 70 or 70 to 80, 50-50 chance, I would say, for that one. Shortest game of the tournament, almost certainly going to be 15 to 20. I would say this is like 90% plus probability that'll fall within this range, and it was smack dab in the middle for Shanghai at 1725. Most kills by a hero in a game. This is typically 70 to 29, but last major it was indeed 24 by an OD, but OD is not in the pool anymore, or not really in the pool, and it tends to be more on the lower end, and the games are like slightly shorter than before. So I would say maybe like 40% chance of this and like, I don't know, 30% chance of this, 20% chance of this, and 10% everything else. So 17-19 seems to have the highest probability. Most deaths by a hero in a game, it's almost always 12 to 14 or 15 to 17. I'll probably say like 60-40. So actually maybe even 70-30 from the stats I looked at, but 12 to 14 is a pretty safe bet. Most assists by a hero in a game, 24 to 27 or 28 to 31 are the most likely selections, but there's not as much Zeus and Spectre as of late, and Shanghai Major was around the 24 to 27 range, so I'll choose that one. And highest GPM by hero in a game, this one is actually very easy for Shanghai Major, 800, 899, and I think it fell at like 860. So if there's a Sven AM, any free farmer like that, and they just farm for like 45-50 minutes, it's almost always 800 to 899. If they have a really spectacular game or they end the game very early, sometimes it's 900 to 999. But generally it's this for non-alchemist heroes. For if an alchemist is picked and he has a great game and they end the game early, it can easily be 1100 plus, but usually it's around 1000 plus for a good alch game. And I think the probability of that is fairly likely, especially considering how well Wings runs it. So I will have my faith in the alch and put him down for 1000 plus. So there you have it for my predictions. They lock in 7 days. So if you want to wait for more information or wait for other people, by all means do so. I encourage it, and hopefully that Dota is up by then. But if not, hopefully I give you enough information to make some educational guesses or predictions of your own. So good luck with that. Get some levels, get some items, get some hats. See you soon.